Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
The views and opinions expressed on Trudging Together are solely those of the host, co-host, and our guests. They do not necessarily reflect the views of any organization, fellowship, or other entity, and definitely not your boss, your neighbor, or that one guy in your home group. The content of this program is not intended to replace medical, psychological, or professional advice. If you're looking for that, please seek guidance from qualified professionals who spent way too many years in school. What you'll hear here is based on lived experience, recovery journeys, and the occasional bad coffee-fueled joke. Trudging Together is not affiliated with any 12-step fellowship. We are simply people sharing our stories and walking this path together, one day at a time. Thank you for joining us, and remember, recovery is serious business, but that doesn't mean we can't laugh along the way.
It's still Monday. Hello. Good hair day, too. Oh, I wanted to switch because I forgot that on my camera I had the touch up, which I meant to take off. It's off now. And it was making my clips all weird, so got a new lead. Whoop, 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 whoop. Went down to a CRC crisis. We're gonna start an open newcomers meeting down there. So yeah, and so people are already wanting to help. They're very excited to do this. This is the first step in a lot of things I'm probably going to be doing for CRC. It's not common knowledge yet, but I can tell you right now, there's nobody here who listens to me that, number one, is even going to say anything or even know who to say to what. I'm going to be doing some podcasting for them, number one. And they have something coming out. We got to wait till September before I can really say anything. But let's just say it will really help our community up here. It will. Finally had my meeting with Aurora Mental Health today. Been waiting on that one. And I approached it much differently. In fact, at the end, they said, Dion, thank you very much for making this a solution meeting. We appreciated that. We got AA meetings in detox. We did it. We did it. Now, because of logistics, a bunch of AA members can't show. Logistically, it's hard to pull off, especially when you're short-staffed and stuff. But in this, did I get exactly what I wanted? No. That's okay. It's a start. It's a start. So, I'm also trying to heal a relationship between two companies that I think would do real good stuff together. Because there's been stuff said in the past. There's been stuff that's been done in the past, things that happened in the past that kind of need to stay there because it's not the same people, right? But I know who's the one. I know who's causing this chaos. We're going to remove them. It's a commissioner. Yeah. Actually, it's not a commissioner. It's the commissioners. No wonder they're not writing me back. So, thank you, Leisure. Thank you. This is good stuff for all of us, and even though you may not feel like, let me tell you something. If you go to work and you're paying your taxes, if you come here and listen to me, support me, you're helping because your taxes that put food on my table. Okay. I applied for disability. So you might be paying help my rent. So I go out there and do these things because you're taking care of me. That's a reciprocal relationship. The other thing Aurora Mental Health told me was they said, because I'm like, should I even bother with this detox anymore? And they said, Dion, we're going to ask that you don't stop doing what you're doing because you're the only community member out there that's trying to get this stuff done. And we need somebody who has the voice, who is willing to say these things out loud. We need you. So then where's the money? Where's my money? So good stuff today. A lot of cool stuff coming up. I'm excited for AA. I am. We're all about comebacks, right? Leisure, you mean that portion of my taxes who aren't going to people who aren't citizens of this country? Yeah, those ones. Yeah, that tax. People keep why I don't. Everybody, and it's still going on. Oh, we have no money. We have no dish. I just saw a thing on Jefferson Center. Whining. In fact, here it is. I'm going to share it with you. I am. I'm going to share it with you. This is the kind of stuff that I see all the time, right? Enable Zoom and waiting for mission, allow on this site. All right, there it is. I'm going to maximize it so you can see it. I met with the dedicated team at Jefferson Center for Mental Health. I hear firsthand about the growing financial pressures facing local behavioral providers to keep this program open. We have to listen to the providers on the front lines, address funding gaps, and ensure systems actually work for the people relying on them. Let me tell you something. That's all crap. Okay? That is what I call political talk. And these are the same people who abused our money. So am I to feel sorry for them? Not only that, but 2 weeks ago, I put in a complaint because I had somebody, we utilized them. Okay. They got a lunch and the fruit was rotten. Number one, the bread was moldy. I mean, it was detox is tough as it is. Right. And detox is really where we need to meet others where they're at. Yeah. So let's talk on that. We meet others where they're at. Welcome to Daily Trudge. My name is Dion. I'm your host. Now I'm big on this. Okay. If this is a rock I need to die on, I will. For 2 years, I went into my local AA group. It was my home group. And every time I'd raise my hand looking for a sponsor, because see, that's what we used to say. We used to say, who here is looking for a sponsor? And then you'd raise your hands. Well, I didn't hear that part, and they had changed it to who here is willing to be a sponsor. And I will not go for that. We meet people where they're at. I am the recovered alcoholic. I see people determining other people's levels of willingness. That's the one that really gets me. It's a judgment. So that person who didn't know anybody in the room came walking in, sat down, shaking, tried to have that cup of coffee, didn't quite work, right? They announced for the first time that they're an alcoholic, and we are determining their willingness. Are we not seeking? Are we not searching? This is the way I see it. If I go to a meeting and somebody comes in, God did that. God wants me to do something about it. The people that really, truly make it in this program let other people know that they will sponsor them. They just don't sit back and wait. They don't. Nowhere in the big book. In fact, we're going to get to some other things, right? All right. I told ChatGPT to go through the first 164 pages and let me know if it was anywhere in there that we ask if you're willing to be a sponsor or anything like it. So I could be wrong here. I don't know. I might be, but I will not do it that way. I'm a little tired of it. Right? Leisure, I don't have a sponsor for the first 2 years. I didn't have a sponsor first 2 years in the program. A guy came up to me and told me he was going to be my sponsor after 2 years. Yeah, it was 2 years for me. Was his name Paul? It might have been Paul, dude, because you and I were going to the same meetings and stuff. Primary purpose? Might have been, because Paul was one of the only ones. But I probably know who that was, Leisure. Right? Now, I don't have a sponsor now. I haven't had a sponsor for years. What I have is 4 or 5 accountability buddies. That's what I have. So anyway, we're a little off topic. So I'm kind of curious to see what the outline gave us here, right? And give you a heads up. You know, Keon using ChatGPT, that's cheating. Let me tell you something. Okay. I can show you my ChatGPT. I probably got 50 conversations. I've been feeding it my videos for months so it knows how I talk. Because what was going on is I would ask it to do something. I'm like, go give me some of the best slogans, and be like, progress, not perfection. I'm like, no, that's not a slogan. It was just grabbing what was popular. So I had to put my stuff in there to correct it. And I always have to go through this stuff, right? It's leisure. No. Thanks. See, I was right. All right. Thanks, everybody, for being here. Yeah. All right. It said, first, what I found about sponsorship and reaching out, I checked the first 164 pages specifically for what you asked. I did not find an instruction telling the newcomer that they must go find a person, or that person needing help has to make the first approach. It's not in there. Oh, Paul was not your sponsor. Paul was mine. You know who I'm talking about then. All right. The rough Paul. No, rah. Yeah, he was awesome. Great sponsor, dude. Great sponsor. I still call him on my birthday. I still let him know and catch him up with what I'm doing because he was my sponsor, right? So it's not in there. Even ChatGPT can't find it. What I found in working with others actually leans strongly in the other direction, that the recovered alcoholic goes looking for the alcoholic who needs help. Oh, there it is. Right? Now, that's not what I'm not going to be honing in on that the whole time, right? Okay. All right. That's fair. We got to have anonymity here, at least some, right? But Paul's not on anything. He has email. That's about it. So nobody's even going to be able to figure that out. But right. So it doesn't say it. Page 89 tells us that if we do not know drinkers who want to recover, we can find them through doctors, ministers, priests, or hospitals. The instruction is to carry the message to other alcoholics. No, not Biker Paul. No. Now, he went to the new primary purpose noon meeting, sat in the front. That's when it was in the old Western store. I'll send you I'll send you a text with a little bit more information. I'm pretty sure you know who he is. All right. So carry the message to alcoholics. Then page 90 says, when you discover a prospect for Alcoholics Anonymous. Now, things are a little different in our world, right? Now, when this started, for years until about mid-90s, now there's a lot more rules around detox and stuff. That's why we can't, including treatment centers, things like that. Actually, treatment centers, I think, are just being jerks. They're doing paid sponsorship is what they're doing. And it's wrong. Anyway. All right. So it is about us meeting them where they're at all times. Didn't your sponsor meet you where you were at? Well, I take it literally. If they're in that chair, I'm to approach them. I'm to go over there. Yeah. Yeah. I think it's funny that, like, there were two people, they talk about it all the time. They're like, yeah, I got a message from Dion and it said, I'll be your sponsor. And I thought it was kind of pretentious. And then I got all these messages. Dion's a great sponsor. To so very good. But it's because what we're taught out there, right? That since we're not 12 stepping anymore, we don't, we're not sponsoring. No. Okay. We're inventive people, man. Okay. Maybe they won't let us do it at detox. I was just talking with somebody who is going to help me with the meeting. I've never met them face to face. They're taking meetings into jails for 14 to 21. You can do that. You can do that. Absolutely. Just this last week, I talked to 3 or 4 people looking for stuff. A lot of times sponsors, and I'm full right now, so I'm kind of helping them out with sponsors and stuff. That's what we do. Why? because I am the healed alcoholic. Right? So the pattern in the first 64 is essentially we reach out, we offer help, they decide whether or not they want it, and we don't force it. Right? So, what's the first thing that we should do? And that's not going to be hard for us to do. Put ourselves in their shoes. It says in the big book, we sometimes relive the horrors of the past to help someone. But see, I've settled my past. Now it's gold in this situation. I'm going to put myself in their shoes. Do you remember when you were detoxing? You remember it? It's all you need to do. Think of that. Remember how crappy you felt? I don't know if anybody else, this happened to anybody else. You have to be pretty bad. But when I would detox, it was like water in my head. Whoosh, 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 whoosh. And it kind of drowned everything else out. It was hard to hear. It was. Or that buzzing. Yeah. Right? The shaking, the sweats, the guilt, the shame, the blame. Remember all that? Everybody's angry at you. Everybody fucking hates you. You have no idea what you're going to do. Go back to that place. You can do that because you have the solution. You're not going to live there, but I am going to go through it a little bit to be with them. It's empathy, right? Meeting someone where they're at tells us about their behavior, their problems, their background, the seriousness of their drinking, right? And why do we do that? So we can put ourselves in their place and consider how we would want to be approached, right? Meeting someone where they're at starts by asking, if I were sitting where this person is sitting, how would I want someone to talk to me? Just yesterday, I was talking with somebody. I haven't gone to too many AA meetings, but they're 277 days sober, actually 278 now. Right? Looking for a sponsor. No, I didn't have to hone in on the first step with them. I did not need to cover the hopelessness of the disease. You want to know how our conversation started? Getting to know each other. Turns out they're my age, and we play a lot of the same video games. Yeah, we took a little walk down memory lane with video games. What was I doing? I was building rapport. That I was a person just like them, right? But I was meeting them where they're not detoxing right now. I'm going to have a little bit less serious of a conversation with that, right? But it was just a talk, getting to know each other a little bit, because then that tells me what kind of person I could probably align them with, right? Still the same thing. No matter what the situation, even if I'm talking with somebody that has more sobriety time than me, right? I'm actually working with somebody who has a lot of time. I'm helping them do their 4-step. I'm just a closed mouth friend. They know a lot more about this than I do. Right? But they're not going to say that though. Oh, I got this thing. Oh, no. We need to listen. It can be kind of hard because alcoholics repeat themselves a lot when they're drunk. Usually we're not talking to them when they're drunk, though. They're pretty shaky. But they will repeat. And if they trust you, they're going to dump their life. They're going to dump the last 30, 60, 90 days on you. They are. And it might be rough. You might hear some things you don't want to hear. It's okay. So why are we doing this? We're trying to get to know them a little bit better so that we know how to help. The more information I have, the more I can meet them where they're at. All right? Page 91 tells us to begin with ordinary conversation. Here's a good one. Where'd you grow up? Where'd you go to high school? Oh, yeah. And you're going to find little coincidences. Oh, yeah. Oh, I was in that school district. I went to this school over here. Oh, really? Yeah. Did you know blah, blah? See, now we're getting somewhere. What kind of food you like? Big into music? I like music. You like music? Find common ground. Ask some questions. Now, where'd you go to school? Then start getting into the other questions. You married? Got kids? There's that question you need to ask. You need to find out who they're closest to, because you're going to use that. Now, if it's a guy, it's probably his mother. If it's a girl, it's probably her father. That's what I've found, usually. But find out. Ask. Get along with your mom? Not really. How about dad? Oh, yeah, we get along great. We talk every day. There's your thing. Yeah. See, if they're attached to dad, then what we're going to do, when I got sober, it was probably the best present I gave my father. And don't use mommy and daddy. Okay. Just trust me on it. Okay. Because you're going to use that. It helps them realize they're hurting the person they love the most. And we don't want to do that. We really don't. I know our actions are saying something different, but see, we've been there, so we get it. I understand. You know how many times I said I was going to quit and I couldn't follow. I just couldn't do it. Yeah, I'm like that. This is what I did. Do you want to do it? Because we can go over here. We can do that. I'd be happy to do this. Okay. And it needs to be altruistic. There can be no expectation. Okay. Because they think they're not giving anything in return, but they did, didn't they? Yes, they did. One line to stay away from. Oh, don't worry, you're helping me. You remind me it doesn't work out there. Don't say that. Okay? Don't say that. Just say you're helping me more than you know. Stick with that. Because they're not going to have the wherewithal to even give a fuck about that other portion. So don't say it. Okay? So we ought to have a better idea how to proceed. And so we're not trying to figure out their problems. Oh, what's wrong with them? We're trying to figure out, where are you? Where are you at? Are they desperate then, right? Never, ever, ever, ever speak above them. Okay? You speak in their terms. If they swear, you swear. It's called mimicking. It's actually a counseling thing where you mimic them. That way you're with them. When I'm working with somebody, I tend to talk the way they talk. I gotta check something here. No, somebody forgot it. All right. Let me get this taken care of real quick. Make sure I better scroll up a little bit so I do not put now I don't know if it's our Zoom meeting. Okay, that one I know is. Give me a second here. Starts in 30 minutes. Control V. Copy. Control C. Enter. Go here. Control V. All done. Okay. Thank you for letting me do that. I apologize, but we have somebody else that's hosting and they're not quite used to the rhythm yet. So, right. So we talk about our experience, strength, and hope. Right. So what we're not doing is saying, here's what you need to do. Nope. This is what happened to me and this is what I did. This was the result. What it was like, what happened, what it's like now. Just keep it much shorter. I have a much better life today. Okay. There's one thing that I say that just lights people up. I just did this with the person I was talking with at Community Reach Center. Okay. I'm diagnosed with 5 mental illnesses. On top of my alcoholism, I have ADHD, CPESD, acute anxiety, and depression. It used to be severe depression. It's not anymore. But yet I'm a free man. I'm not on any meds. I'm a free man. There's fucking hope in that. There's hope that you can do it too. Well, where did I get that? From the people that came before me that gave me hope so that I knew I could do it too. Right? Because that's what we're doing here. Okay? Don't argue. Don't correct. Don't correct. Okay? Now, what I say about mimicking. If they start, you do it too. Okay? But this is how you do it. You start by, and then about halfway through it, start going a little lower, and then go to your normal voice, and they will repeat it. You don't need to tell, calm down. You don't need to do that. Be the good example. Be the example. And examples require a little bit of action. Okay? It works. It works really well for me. But really, this is about them, not us. Right? There's no argument to win. Right? Don't. It tells us not to contradict them. We simply explain that once we felt the same way. We felt the same way. Now, I'm going to give you a little bit of help here. Feel, felt, found. Okay. It's a closing technique that works extreme. Did you know that 12th stepping and sponsoring somebody is actually sales? Just so you know. All right. Feel, felt, found. I know how you feel. I have felt that way myself. But I found if I did this, I got this result. It works. You can't argue with it. I'm not saying they did that. I'm not even saying they did anything wrong. I'm saying I did just as wrong as you did. We're in the same class. You can't outdo me here. We're not going to try this. Okay? It's landing grounds. It's all about landing grounds. You do this stuff, they're going to feel safe around you. And you do it right, you ain't going to be able to shut them up, which is good. That's a good thing. It might irritate you a little bit, but it's a good sign. Okay? Reach out, but do not force yourself on them. We do not chase, which can be a little tough sometimes because sometimes you'll meet somebody that you feel attached to them and you want them to make it, but we do not chase. Nope. Those days are over. Remember, you used to get in the argument, you'd leave the house, stop off, and people would fight. Nope, we don't do that here. We ain't going to follow you. All right? But maybe check it. Hey, still doing okay? Awesome. Okay, cool. These little things. Okay? Another thing, never work harder than the client. That was the first thing I was taught. So in this case, never work harder than the sponsee, ever. Because here's the thing. If they really want this, they'll come find you. Now, this is where the part comes in reverse. Remember earlier I was saying, right, in the beginning, but once we've worked with them for a little bit, it is up to them. We met them where they're at, and every time we meet with them, we meet them where they're at. First time, no call, no show. Hey, where were you? What's going on? Okay, we meet at this time. Next week, if the same thing happens, I'm probably not even going to follow up with you. I'm going to move on. Okay? So, because they're not doing the work. I'm not determining their willingness. It's that I'd rather work with somebody who wants to do the work at the moment. Okay? But if I say that I'm going to help somebody, it's forever. Okay? I'm a forever person. I've never fired a sponsee. They either do the work or they leave. That's what happens every single time. Yeah. So there's a balance. We initiate the offer, then they choose to accept it. That's up to them. All right. When we see somebody sinking in the mire that is alcoholism, AA tells us to respond. We give them first aid and place what we have at their disposal. It does not say wait until they figure out exactly who to ask. That's going to take forever. We see the suffering alcoholic and make what we have available. Okay. Page 97 describes helping others as the foundation stone of our recovery. So with not doing it this way means you are not working on your foundation. Reaching out, helping others is the answer to almost anything. But if you're sitting around waiting for it to happen, it's not going to. Because God will put it in front of you and be like, oh, that's that, serenity prayer, I can't change that. Okay. Well, if you don't, I'm going to. And if you're not careful, I might come over and say, hey, you're going to sponsor this person. If I think you're a good fit, I'm gonna bring it, and you're not going to tell me no. You just won't want to. Do you know how many people have come to me lately and said, Dion, thank you for sending me sponsors? A lot. Like, it has really helped me out. I forgot how great sponsorship was. Makes me want to cry a little. Okay. Now, I don't get to take credit for that. That is AA and God working in my life. But I do receive the dividends. Huh. Pretty cool. Now, meeting them where they're at does not mean leaving them there. You don't agree with everything they say. Change the steps to fit them, pretending alcoholism. And, we can't do that. You can't do the recovery for them. We meet them where they're at so we can carry the message, so we can carry the solution to a place where they can hear it. Right? So, they knew Vision for You shows how the early members lived this. They knew they had to help other alcoholics if they were going to remain sober. They devoted their time and resources to the fellow sufferers and were constantly thinking about how they could present what they had discovered to another newcomer. So maybe meeting others where they are at means going towards them, listening, find out where they're at, share what happened to us, offer the solution. In the meantime, don't talk down to them, don't force them, and leave the decision in their hands. We cannot make the decision for them. The big book does not tell us to sit back and wait for the suffering alcoholic to figure out how to find us. It tells us to carry the message to them and then respect where they are when we get there. All right. Well, I got a meeting in about 7 minutes. I have to open up the room in 7 minutes. I don't know who's hosting. I don't know. I guess I'll find out in 7 minutes. I might be doing some double duty tonight. So everybody get to the meeting. Help me out. We need a chairperson. It'll work out exactly the way it's supposed to. As I wrap up, thank you, everybody, for just being a part of, being supportive in what I do, being excited about the things that I do. I appreciate that. Yeah. Because I kind of get flack for what I do. I get a lot of, well, not as much hate as I used to, but I'm also not doing all the things I was. So either way, thanks. I do. I love the support. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I appreciate it. I love you. You know I do. Peace out. And keep on.